What up, y'all? Welcome to PopDotComix. I'm JoJo coming at you from the Woman Cave in Vegas. Alright, guys, so I'm about to hit you all with a contest video entry, and this time it is for Davis Comic Finds and for Mr.Rigamortis hitting their 200 subscriber mark. Congrats to both of them. I do enjoy both of their channels. They do great comic hauls. They're just very knowledgeable about comics in general, so I always feel like I learn a thing or two when I watch their channel. If you, for whatever reason, don't know who they are, I would suggest checking them out. I'll leave links below to both of their channels. But yeah, they're just really cool people. And hey, if you want to still get in on this contest, I would highly recommend it. The deadline is April 1st, and the rules are as follows. You must be subscribed to both of them, and you must be 18 or older. Then each of them has asked 3 questions, so you'll have to make a video answering all 6. But let's get into it. So Davis Comic Finds asks, what is your favorite Spider-Man villain and why? I'm just going to say this right now. Honestly, I have never been a huge Spider-Man fan. I do like Spider-Man, but he is not my favorite. I mean, I think you can tell who's my favorite. But that's not to say I don't like him. I really do enjoy Spider-Man and everything about him. It's just, when it comes to comic book characters, Batman's my guy. So naturally, I don't know everything there is to know about Spider-Man, but I do remember watching the old Spider-Man cartoons, and, I have a lot of Spider-Man comics as well. He's just not my main guy, right? But to answer the question, my favorite Spider-Man villain would have to be Green Goblin. And I just love how wicked he looks. Everything about him looks so menacing and evil. And for whatever reason, I always seem to gravitate more towards like the dark side of things. I like horror, I like the Joker a lot. I love the Sith. I like his character design. I like that he looks like a weird evil elf kind of demon dude. And he's also got that like Halloween type of vibe going on, with the jack-o'-lanterns that he throws and they explode. Like, super cool. I just, that kind of thing's right up my alley. And, he just looks so wicked when he's flying, terrorizing people. It's just, it kind of almost reminds me of the Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz, like flying around on her broom. They're both green too and have big ears. But anyway, he would have to be my favorite villain in the Spider-Man stories. And I think my favorite story arc or moment involving him would have to be when he kills Gwen Stacy. Because, I mean, that's like the pinnacle of his evil doing. Like, that's just what he's known for. So it's kind of equivalent to Joker killing Jason Todd. So yeah, the next question he's asking is, what's your favorite Amazing Spider-Man cover? Like I said before, I have some Amazing Spider-Man covers, but they're definitely not my favorite. I do have a reprint of my favorite handy, and that is this one. Sorry guys, just trying to get rid of that glare. Hopefully that's a little better. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, this is a reprint of Amazing Spider-Man number 17. Just love this cover. It's so classic. Love the primary colors, the red and the blue, the red and the yellow. It's just, it pops, and I love that about old art, like old school art. But yeah, you've got the Green Goblin over here, you got Human Torch, Spider-Man, and down here you got J. Jonah Jameson. Very cool. But yeah, there's a Green Goblin wreaking havoc, as usual. But anyways, yeah, this is definitely my favorite comic cover for Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man. So the next thing he's asking is to put the following Spider-Man artists in order from who you like the most to who you like the least, I guess. So this was kind of hard actually, because some of them I like equally, but let's just start with my favorite, and I would probably say Ditko number 1, John Romita is number 2, number 3 would be Mike Zeck, number 4 would be Ron Frenz, number 5 would be McFarlane, number 6 would be Larson. Number 7 would be John Romita Jr., and number 8 would be Bagley. I just tend to like the old school stuff more for some reason. But anyway, yeah, that concludes Davis Comic Finds portion of the video. So let's now move on to Mr. Riggs' questions. First question he asks is, what is your favorite comic movie soundtrack? This was hands down the Batman theme song from the Tim Burton movies. Just love it. I used to listen to that over and over, and same with my close second number. The number 2 spot would be Superman, the Superman John Williams score. Just freaking love it. Both of those were on repeat like all throughout high school for me. Continuing on, he's asking, what is your favorite story arc from the 90s? He actually mentioned this too. I feel like I'm just saying what he said, but these are genuinely my answers. He mentioned Nightfall and Nightquest, Night's End. Those are what got me into comics. So yeah, I can't really go with anything else because that was just my jam. I just love everything Batman goes through in that. I really like the inclusion of Lady Shiva in that. I love that he has to go to her to train. Like, that's something we never really see that much in other Batman story arcs, is him being so vulnerable after he broke his back, like, that he needs to be trained by somebody else. Like, usually, you know, Alfred just stitches him up and then he's good to go for the next day, but this time it was like a lot more severe, and it just felt like the stakes were higher in that story arc. And then you got crazy Azrael taking the mantle, so that was very interesting, and the dynamic between him and Robin was so funny. I actually really felt empathetic towards Robin's situation there. And then later on, when Nightwing comes around, and then him and Bruce Wayne get into a huge fight, and it was just a really good story. And just to see Batman being broken by Bane like that just left an impact. I mean, it's not a perfect story by any means. Like, there are a lot of cheesy moments. I remember some of those issues are just like filler issues too, and it's just like, okay, let's move on with the story. But you know, that's the way comics are, and even shows are like that too. So that's that. Continuing on, this is where it gets a little interesting. So he's basically just asking us to create a story arc that kind of like breaks the conventions of what we would normally see from our favorite superhero. Something that would grab people's attention, kind of. So I'm choosing Batman, and my story arc is going to be called Batman versus the Music Man. And I'm just going to like tell you guys the story. So kind of just going off the cuff right now. I did like pre-think a story in my head, and just to let you guys know, it's kind of a darker story. But I mean, it is Batman, but this is more of like a rated R type of thing. So if you're not good with that kind of thing, maybe you should tune out now. So this story starts off like any other Batman story, where Gordon flashes the bat signal and Batman goes and meets up with him. So Gordon tells him that the Joker's loose again. And, you know, Batman's kind of sick of it, but he's like, okay, I'll go investigate. So Gordon says, you're going to have to talk to the Music Man. And Batman's like, who's the Music Man? And Gordon goes, it's the new hypnosis doctor that works there. So Batman's kind of curious about this. He hasn't heard of the Music Man. So Batman heads off to Arkham, you know, figures out where the Music Man's office is and knocks on the door. The Music Man opens and Batman says, are you the Music Man? And the guy says, some people like to call me that, but my name is Dr. Burns. So Batman says, what can you tell me about the Joker? You know, and he starts asking Dr. Burns all these, you know, detective-like questions about the Joker, and he asks whether Dr. Burns has any idea where the Joker could be, and then Dr. Burns says, "No, but you should know him very well by now, shouldn't you?" And Batman doesn't know how to respond to that. So then Batman changes the subject and asks him more about his hypnosis techniques and methods. And, Batman is very skeptical about this because, of course, he is more into the hard facts and science and empirical type of evidence. So he's not so sure what he thinks about this hypnosis doctor. So as Batman's trying to interrogate Dr. Burns starts walking over to what looks like a piano, and Batman asks, "Well, what are you doing?" And Dr. Burns says, "What's interesting about music is that it can trigger memories, and that it could be used as a tool to resurface repressed memories that we thought were long gone." And so Batman goes, "What does this have to do with the Joker? And why won't you tell me if you have talked to the Joker before he went missing?" So Dr. Burns doesn't answer, and he just starts playing music on the piano. And Batman just stops, and he starts listening to the music, and it's a familiar song. And he suddenly remembers where it's from. So he says, "Why are you playing this song?" And Dr. Burns just keeps playing it, and he just ignores him. And all of a sudden, Batman feels like he's immobile, like his body just isn't functioning, but his brain is. And it's almost like he's in a daze or he's in a dream, because he gets a vision, which to him feels almost like an alternate reality. And the song brought him straight back to the day that his parents were killed. And the song was the same song that was being played at the show that they had watched right before his parents were murdered. But there was something different about the vision. It wasn't the same sequence of events. He had replayed his parents' death in his head before several times, but this time it was different. This time, his dad pulled out a gun from his coat and shot his mom, then shot himself, leaving Bruce standing in front of their bodies. That's why Bruce thought this was an alternate reality that he couldn't escape. But he kept hearing the music that Dr. Burns was playing. So he felt like he was trapped. And then another flash happened, and all of a sudden he was at a different point of time in his life. And that time was in college. He was at his buddy's house, and his buddy was a very easygoing, fun type, very much a class clown. And he always invited Bruce over to play poker. In this vision, this alternate reality that Bruce is seeing, he's at this buddy's place. His buddy's name is Jack. Jack and Bruce are playing poker, and Bruce invited his girlfriend Selena over, and Jack invited his girlfriend as well. Her name was Harleen. They were all having a good time playing poker. They had some drinks, and next thing you know, this vision jumps to another vision where Bruce is walking towards a room, and from afar he sees Jack is having an affair with Selena. Bruce is livid, grabs a knife, and next thing you know, there's another flash and there's blood everywhere. And still, during all these scenes that are playing out in Batman's head, he's hearing Dr. Burns play the music, and it just continues and it continues, and then Batman faints and it goes black. He's laying down on a cold floor. He hears steps in the distance, doesn't know where he's at, doesn't know how he woke up there, doesn't even remember the visions that he had. All he knows is that he's in a straitjacket. And then he hears some steps approaching, and the door to the small room opens, but he can't really tell who it is because there's no light, but there is just one small window and just the moonlight shining down in one area. And there seems to be what looks like a bat sprawled across the window. So the person approaches. It's an orderly. Bruce is really confused. The name tag on the orderly says Gordon. The end. Alright guys, so that's my story. Hope you guys liked it. Hope it wasn't too dark for you all. I think a one-shot would best suit the story, and I would definitely try to get somebody like Jock who has like a darker sensibility to be the artist, because I mean, I really do like Jock's work, and I don't know, this just seems like it would be a good fit. But anyways, yeah, leave a comment below and tell me what you thought about it. I know, it's kind of silly and kind of last minute, but it's still fun. So thanks so much, guys, both Davis Comic Finds and Mr. Rig, for holding this contest, because I really did enjoy making this video. So yeah, if you like this video, give me a like or subscribe or both. I don't hate it. You could also follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at PopDotComix. I will catch you all on the next one.